All right, so here's one of the unspoken benefits of building a personal media empire. It comes as a question that Anuj was asking, which is, as you're building your personal media empire and you start to gain traction, do you enter into these new circles where you're hanging out with other creators on your level? And what are some of the unspoken benefits of that? And it's true. It's really interesting. All the growth that you could want in your business is on the other side of reach and reputation, right? And so the more people that know you and the better your reputation is in the eyes of those people, the more business you're going to have as a consequence, right? One of the really interesting things that comes as a consequence of this is that you get to hang out with people who mirror your reach and reputation. So as you get bigger reach, you get to hang out with people who have similar reach. As you get a better reputation, you hang out with people who have a comparable reputation, because people who have a better reputation than you probably aren't hanging out with you. People who have a worse reputation than you, I would not recommend you hang out with, right? And so you tend to rise to these levels with your peers. And at each one of those little phase gates, it's a very interesting thing that occurs, which is you start to see the reflection of yourself more in the people around you. Where for most of us, as you're creating content, as you're building your business, I bet you feel isolated and alone most of the time, right? You're probably the only one in your peer group, your friends, your family, the people that you went to high school with, building a business. Only person who's watching podcasts like this that is interested in personal development and growing into their greatest self, right? There's probably a dearth of people in your life that you can connect with on those levels. And so as you create your personal media empire, you start to attract and open doors into rooms with people who look more like you. And there is this reciprocal power from that, where suddenly you realize you're not alone. It's very inspiring and it's very powerful. And a couple years ago, I was invited to this event with a bunch of creators out in LA. We went and rented this Airbnb for a couple days. It was just really chill and relaxed, hanging out with people that were like much further along in the game, but had this opportunity to learn and to grow. And the most powerful thing that came from that wasn't the insider secrets that we traded, which, I mean, there were some of that, but the bigger impact was simply seeing myself reflected in other people and saying, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not weird. And seeing, you always want to have some people in the group who are further ahead, right? And then you can look at them and be like, oh, that's where I'm moving towards. It's very, very powerful, very, very inspiring. Not to mention that as you build your personal media empire and you have more access to people operating on higher and bigger levels, your opportunities expand. When you need things, when you have questions, you can reach out and you can get those doors open much quicker. And that's why, a lot of people say your network is your net worth, is because it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, right? And the reflection of that is it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you, which again goes to all the growth you want inside your business is on the other side of reach and reputation. The more reach, more reputation you have, the quicker you're going to be able to achieve your dreams. So it's one of the unspoken benefits of building a personal media empire, is that you get to groom a network of badass people that continually inspire you to move to higher levels of the game or to become better versions of yourself. And so regardless of what happens inside of your business, that's always pretty damn cool to have, because I think ultimately the reason we're here on this earth, I don't have any like spiritual belief system that there is like a big M meaning as to why you're here. But I believe the meaning that we get to ascribe to our presence here is that we're here to make it better. We're here to make the universe a slightly better place. I like to think that I am a tool the universe uses for its own self-improvement. I think you're the same way. And so as you're improving yourself, getting around other people who are also improving themselves creates this compounding effect where all of us just go exponential much, much faster. And I want that for you. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to this podcast. That's why I'm here pouring into you, is so that you can go hit that exponential curve on your hockey stick of life that much quicker. And I appreciate you guys being here, but I got nothing else to say. So I'm just going to stare awkwardly at the camera now until Anuj turns it off and you move on to the next episode, or you go make a piece of content yourself and start building your personal media empire.